One of my favorite people who inspires me with everything that she does and takes on is Bethenny Frankel. She Zooms us live right now. Bethenny, how are you?
Zoom is a verb. Wow. I'm Zooming you and I'm okay. How are you?
We're doing all right. We're trying to make the best of it. You are someone that does not like to sit around. I know you like to relax, but you also like to not sit around idle. You like to try and get things done, certainly if you feel like there's something you can do. And one of the things that we have talked with you in the past about is the BStrong initiative. And I'm curious, I'll tell people what it is, but I'm also curious to know how it works. I know what you're amassing, but how do you get that stuff to the people that need it?
I think that's a great question because it hasn't really been asked. So good on you for that. So Be Strong is an initiative, and it started with disaster relief in hurricanes, in earthquakes, in different disasters, in the Australia fires all over the world. And we've distributed in excess of $25 million in aid and sent hundreds of planes and barges and been to Puerto Rico dozens of times. And we follow through long after the headlines fade. So we were just in Australia. We were just in Tennessee during Corona to distribute their aid after their tornado. We were just in Puerto Rico after their earthquake to add insult to injury after their hurricane. So that's important because a lot of people sort of get involved when the headlines are exciting to be, so urgent about something. So it's disaster relief because it takes a certain skill set. It takes being sort of a hustler and a run and gun type of person who can cut through red tape. And you have to be a business person because it involves a lot of logistics, operations, moving quickly, executing legalities, and transparency. So as far as coronavirus, I didn't think this would really involve us. I thought I was going to send these Corona kits to some healthcare workers and people who were impoverished or couldn't afford hand sanitizer and prevention and keep their immune system up with vitamin C and immune builders and hydration kits. And that was my initial goal, just the 20,000 Corona kits. And then as I started to see the problem with the protective gear for medical and healthcare workers, I started to hustle pretty early to find this stuff worldwide, but really more in the US because there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of interception, government and otherwise. There's a lot of gouging and hoarding, and it's really treacherous. And so you have to kind of have a machete and cut through it. You have to have inspectors at the ready to go inspect and make sure things aren't counterfeit, make sure your masks, your hazmat suits, that they're real, because people want you to wire money ahead of time, and you can't do that unless it's been vetted. So it's a complicated process. And then once we get the gear, which by the way, the thing I did last week for Cuomo was it was like a $12 million transaction. So we're dealing in massive transactions numbers wise. I mean, we have an $88 million transaction we're trying to work out with de Blasio right now.
So tell me what you did. Those are the New York leaders. What did you do for New York?
So for Cuomo, we delivered 1 million biohazard hazmat suits. So in addition to taking in money, which you're donating to Be Strong for us to help hundreds of hospitals throughout the United States that are in desperation and they can't afford to buy the things right now. They don't have wealthy billionaires on their big hospital board. That's where the Be Strong money is donated. But we're also functioning as a government liaison to about 10 state governments right now, 2 of which are in New York. Cuomo is the governor, and we got him 1 million biohazard full body protective suits. De Blasio, we already got 200,000 masks, but we're working on a much more massive effort, not only for healthcare workers, but also for police officers. But in addition, the way that we decide how the aid is distributed is we take the worst place, and that percentage of our aid would go to that place. And then that shifts. So now, New York is terrible. Louisiana is second. But people worry about how we're going to do it equally. And the way that we do it equally is do it proportionally to the disaster and the aid that we have. And if we get aid from, say, Billy Joel, who donated $500,000, and it goes a lot to New York, we'll balance out with our aid in other states. And Camilla and Matthew McConaughey will be announcing today that they are donating a large sum, which they can disclose, to help Louisiana and Texas, mostly New Orleans and Texas. So we're kind of making it throughout the country.
So they then could sort of dictate where they wanted that to go?
Well, right. We give people the freedom because if people are going to donate themselves, some things are just like in other charity, people have different things that are important to them, whether it's cancer or diabetes.
Right.
I want someone to feel passionate and connected. And that's why when we post on Instagram, we'll say on behalf of Billy Joel, X number of masks and suits went to X hospital.
Understood.
And then we show that they've been delivered and everybody feels good and they feel connected to it. And I want the people donating to know that 100% goes to the effort. And for us, the day after Billy Joel announces something, for him to see that it's been already into the system and there's no red tape and it's already, been received by the hospital.
That's great.
It makes everybody feel good.
It is. It's impressive. It's so impressive. It's also so great to hear the efficiency and the productivity because I watch the news and, you could depends which news channel you watch. I try to watch all of them, but you hear about inefficiencies and you hear about things that are held up and that becomes frustrating just as a person watching.
It's frustrating. And the truth of the matter is the one thing that I've seen, and I am a business person and I am an executor. I'm not a, procrastinator. I am a doer. And you're right that I do like to relax, but if there's something that I can do, I do it. And I do see that any problems that there are in disaster relief are because of a lack of organization. Yes, there's a lack of preparedness, but you can't always prepare for a tornado or a volcano or a hurricane or corona. But you have to be so organized in your execution, in your explanation, in your communication, in being transparent, that a lot of the reason people are home with so much anxiety, aside from being impoverished and being panicked about their families and their jobs being gone, a lot of people are panicked because when they're hearing people communicate, they don't understand exactly what's happening and what's being done. That will relax you. So it tends to be that we're getting more and more money now and more alliances with governments of states all over the country because we're so connected. I think being a communicator is really important and using social media for good, not evil, and really over communicating exactly what you're doing.
It is such a great initiative. And the fact that you're doing so many different things with velocity is what we need. And also your voice, just hearing your voice of being in charge makes me feel better.
That makes me
Totally.
BStrong is the initiative. You can check it out. Visit Bethenny.com/BStrong for all the information. We'll be in touch. Keep us posted. Also, I'm thinking about specifically Los Angeles and Southern California and ways that we can keep doing things here. So I'll reach out to you separately, okay?
I appreciate that. And we have donated to California. And I want you to know that the more that everybody posts, because people are helpless and they feel like they don't have money, the connectivity and telling people that inspire them to help and donate, it makes such a difference, the awareness. So really thank you for that. And thank you for having me on with Kelly too. So I'm excited that you're just spreading the word. I appreciate it.
Anytime. You got it. Take care of yourself.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Bethenny. Bethenny Frankel, everybody.